are not in the same party. So what do you want me to do? He has not reported to me that there's any problem.
Welcome back once again. The political space in Rivers State is becoming more tensed following Nyesom Wike's recent reply towards Fubara and his loyalists being screened out when they went for their screening under the APC. Sincerely speaking, all what is playing out has now shown the reason why Fubara frowned and refused to hold any press conference after he was asked to bow and leave during the APC governorship screening recently. And the grievances of Okechinda purchasing a form when he is still the House of Rep member and a minority leader of the PDP in the House of Rep National Assembly. This is also what is giving Fubara the mind to be angry over his political party. Sincerely speaking, I'm going to be showing you what Nyesom Wike came out and replied as a state and as a mindset of giving Fubara a pro-notice of what is about to come to play come 2027. And as we speak, as if that is not enough, Nyesom Wike have now visited the national chairman of the APC. Sincerely speaking, the Rainbow Coalition Nyesom Wike has formed in Rivers State is boiling hot because he is a member of the PDP, dining and whining with the APC, at the same time forming coalition of APC and PDP, all in the name and all the verge of making sure Fubara does not come to seat come 2027. I'm going to be showing you the reply of what he stated and actually what is playing out and the visit that has shown that he visited the APC national chairman. But before I do that, listen attentively to Oshiomhole, the senator representing a senatorial district in Edo State. He schooled Godswill Akpabio recently regarding the formulation and the politicking over who is going to be the next Senate president and all what have you. Listen attentively to him, and when we come back, we'll continue.
Yeah, what SAN and Ibumiri said is correct. And that is why I said the fight is not over. Because even the current Senate president, Godswill Akpabio, did 4 years. Subsequently, he lost election to the Senate and he became a minister. Now he came back this term and he became Senate president. If you add the first term plus the current one, he would not have done 8 years. Indeed, he's probably doing the 4, 5, 6, maybe he's approaching 7 years now. So if 8 years is a minimum requirement, he doesn't have the right to preside because he has not acquired the qualification. Right. If he got it in error, it has to be corrected. So that is why you don't make laws with people in mind. Number two, there is another thing that Adegomile did not amplify. And that is the word consecutively. If you say consecutively, it means the first tenure of the Senate president, Akpabio, in the 8th Senate will not count because he was not in the 9th Senate and therefore is not consecutive. Strictly speaking, by the interpretation of the rules that have been made, he has only done, he's approaching 3 years as a senator for the purpose of ranking. Okay. And I hold the view that this is just, for me, it's not adding value to the process. Nothing stop any senator from being Senate president for as long as first his people elect him or re-elect him and his colleague accept him. There's no shortcut to it. That is why I gave an example of distinguished Senator David Mark. He held that office for 8 years. And all he needed to do to hold the office for 8 years was to earn and sustain and service the trust line between the Senate presidency and the distinguished senators. Okay. Oftentimes you will hear David Mark saying, the senators are my bosses because they elect me. Because the only right you have is the one your constituency conferred on you, namely to be a senator. To be a Senate president, you are first among equals. And you know, when we turn our back and allow small things to happen, that is how Africans produce dictators that become bigger than their own country. That was just my point, nothing personal about it. I mean, for example, I know that what has informed that rule is the most publicized fact that there are a couple of former senators, like Ideta said you have to. Perhaps the most compelling case, obvious case would be that of Senator Omwagege, who was a deputy Senate president. Mm-hmm. Now he comes back to the 11th Assembly, assuming he wins. And then you say it's no more ranking because it is not consecutively. Or Senator Okowa, who was a senator before going to become governor. Exactly the same way as the distinguished Senate president, Akpabio, was senator, and then he lost election, he became a minister, and then came back to contest and become senator again. And he was considered as ranking. Now this amendment says that once it is not consecutive, you are not ranking. You cannot even be, not just Senate president, you cannot even be a principal officer. How fair is that?
Very interesting point.
And there are quite a number. Nobody knows who's going to win the next election.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying that, as a matter of morality, you don't make law either for yourself or make law against specific individuals that you fear will cap. That is the beginning of the road to life, presidency, and dictatorship. That's why our neighbors can elect a 93-year-old man in Cameroon and
very true.
87 or 90-something-years-old man in, That for me, those are the issues, nothing personal. Akpabio is my friend.
Okay.
But anybody who knows me knows that my friendship is important, but the country is much more important than my personal relationship with anyone.
Welcome back once again. Notwithstanding, Oshiomhole has always been an advocate and he is fearless in his speech. It is clear that whatever politicking you are making, it should not be at the detriment of others just for your own selfish interest. Because what is playing out in Rivers State, just as Oshiomhole has cleared it within the Senate, politicking, it is exactly what is happening in Rivers State. Come to think of it, the removal of Fubara, that is the priority of Wike and his loyalists, is against the politicking and the sheer status quo or ratio of the politics in Rivers State, because the riverine is yet to complete their 8 years. But Wike's ally Okechinda want to clinch on the governorship seat and get him to the brick house. This is going to destabilize the proportion and ratio of governance in Rivers State, because Wike, Celestine Omeha, Rotimi Amechi have all ruled in Rivers State as governor, and they are from the Ikwere axis. And this is exactly what the riverine are actually saying, that Wike bringing out his ally being Okechinda at this time is exactly what is actually playing out, that the politicking is getting more intense because the region is looking as though they are marginalized. As if that is not enough, listen attentively and see what Wike stated as a reply when he was asked, what is your reason or what is your view regarding this disqualification of members loyal to you, Similar Fubara, and all that is actually happening? And this is exactly the reply Wike gave. Listen attentively to him, and when we come back, we'll continue.
I'm not a member of the APC, so I don't know what's happening in their screening. And I don't also know whether they published the results of the screening. It will be difficult for me to comment. Even if they do, why would I comment? I don't know the reasons they have. So of course our own party will soon start their screening today, tomorrow. So that is where you should ask me question. What pertains to me, not what does not concern me. So that's what I want to say.
No, I asked because it's your godson.
Yeah, we're not in the same party. So what do you want me to do? He has not reported to me that there's any problem. I'm not a native doctor. Neither am I a prophet. To go and begin to, I've seen something somewhere now. So I don't have any role to play there. Okay. Very much, that's the essence of the Rainbow Coalition. Look at it. Look at where we have the strength, look at where these people have the strength, and we'll compare notes, and we're going to vote accordingly.
Welcome back once again. I believe you've listened attentively to Wike and the reply he has given regarding all the politicking happening here in Rivers State. And it is obvious that when you see this man speak, you understand that all the political background checks have been kept in place and they are just playing out one after the other. Because as you could see on the screen, he has clearly stated that his Rainbow Coalition will align strategically ahead of 2027 elections. And as you could see on your screen, Wike has now visited the APC national chairman. They were in closed-door meeting. What they discussed is exactly what a lot of persons are expecting and curious to actually know what is playing out. On the part of Similar Fubara, his supporters have often and always called him to brave up because Wike is ahead of him in this particular game. Because come to think of it, the loyalists have been screened out. As if that is not enough, the same person he's bringing to come and replace him in the brick house is from his own constituency, his own local government, and from the land area, not even the riverine. So it is inversely telling the riverine region that they will actually be marginalized when it comes to governance and the ratio of governance in Rivers State. That is exactly what is playing out. Sincerely speaking, Wike's allies are braved. And on that part, as you could see on your screen, it is now clear that Okojombo was initially screened out when he went to get screened over his ambition to return as House of Assembly member. Now, as you could see on your screen, according to Nigerian Affairs Journal, they stated that former factional speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Victor Okojombo, has appeared before the screening appeal committee to appeal the decision of the screening committee that disqualified him and the 64 4 others. Okojombo is a strong ally of Governor Similayo Fubara, serving as a member of the House of Assembly. Sincerely speaking, the politicking is getting more intense, and at this time, Nyesom Wike has often and clearly stated, as you could hear, that he is not even aware if Similayo Fubara is actually being marginalized or what have you. As if that is not enough, that moreover both of them are not in the same political party. As you could see on your screen, APC panel confirms the disqualification of assembly aspirants linked to Fubara. It is still raining, it is still happening. So many persons have stated, what is Similayo Fubara's action over this? Is he going to run down to Hope Uzodinma, the man who brought him close to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the man who has stood for him when he has to do with the federal might, or is he going to decamp to other political parties? Rumors have it that he's about planning to decamp, but at this time, decamping from this political party, that is the ruling party, to other parties, notwithstanding that there are issues regarding what is happening. And the rumors have it also that Similayo Fubara has been told to keep to the promise and to keep to the agreement he had with Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Nyesom Wike of not going back to the brick house come 2027. And all these things are playing out because Similayo Fubara have been calm, feeling that everything is going to work hand in glove with him, following the fact that the hierarchy of the party have stated that returning governors are going to return notwithstanding. And at this time, things are actually falling apart because his allies have been disqualified, and the background checks and the grassroots background politics in Rivers State is no longer in his favor because Nyesom Wike is in their need of that particular brick house return of Chinda. And at this time, Chinda is from the same constituency and local government of Nyesom Wike, notwithstanding that he secretly decamped to APC. He has been screened. In furtherance, Martin Amehule is the one who have been screened over occupying the position Chinda is actually occupying under the House of Rep National Assembly. All these are playing out in favor of Nyesom Wike, while Similayo Fubara is calm, quiet, feeling that on the last day of the politicking, the favor will come to his decks. At this time, it has often and always stated that politics is a game of interest, and politics is a game, being a game of interest is a place where you don't wait for it, you get it, you grab it, just as the other adages have always stated. Furtherance, if this is your first time on meeting this channel, do it often hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and click on the like button so let's get informations promptly when we drop them here. Get to the comment section, advise Similayo Fubara on the necessary steps and political gimmicks he needs to play out to actually return back to the brick house. And on the same vein, advise and give your own opinion adequately. Thanks for watching.